Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Pentawar, which is one of the many games you can play in the Book of Dragons, which is a card game system. Now this system is colorblind friendly, language independent, where you can play 18 or more games by 16 or more designers. Now Pentawar is for 2 to 5 players. It's designed by Kenny and Ken Shannon, which is a father and son dynamic designer duo. And in this game it has a little bit of area control, hand management, and take that and some tableau building. You're going to be trying to build up a flight wing of 5 dragons and stop the other players from getting theirs built up. I'm going to be doing a rule school, so I'm going to give you some context with a quick overview and then teach you how to set up and play the game so that you don't have to read the rules. So let's get started. Pentawar is a tactical card game for 2 to 5 players where you're trying to build your own flight wing of dragons to be the first one to have 5 at the beginning of your turn. Throughout the game you'll be drawing cards, which will also give more options to your opponents, because these cards in the tableau can also be used to activate dragons that are already in the Pentawar to kill a certain dragon type that's in somebody else's flight wing, like this. But if you see it coming, you can protect them by building dragons on top of them. So you'll be using the draw pile in the tableau to affect other people's flight wings while trying to start your turn with 5 dragons in your own to win. To set up, first shuffle all 40 cards into a deck and then take the top 5 cards of that deck and create a pentagram as shown. It's okay if there's more than one card with the same dragon. Off to the side of the pentagram, put your draw deck there. This area is called the tableau. Draw the top 2 cards and place them face up in the tableau. Deal 2 cards from the top of the deck to each player. This will become their hand, which they'll hold and be able to see, but others will not. The object of the game is to create your own flight wing in front of you, trying to get 5 dragons in there. The game's played over multiple turns. On your turn, you'll be taking one of the 4 different actions you could possibly take until one of the end conditions is met, and play goes clockwise. Now you're only taking one of the possible 4 actions on your turn before it goes to the next player's turn, so let's go over these 4 options. The first option is to gather forces. This is when you would draw a card from the face down draw deck, put it into your hand, but then you must take the next card from the draw deck and put it face up into the tableau, which will give more options for your opponents. The next option is to strengthen your flight wing, and you do this by taking one of the cards that's in the tableau or one card from your hand and adding it to your flight wing. However, the card you're selecting must be one of the dragons that's in the Pentawar. So here, if we were taking from the tableau, the forest dragon would be the only one we could take because it's the only one that's here. Same with if you're choosing from your hand, the card from your hand would have to be one of the dragon types that's in the Pentawar. So I placed one of the forest dragons that I had in my hand to start my flight wing. Now that's considered row 1. Later in the game, you'll be able to place more, and let's say as you build this, this would be row 2. Now you must complete row 2 before starting row 3, meaning if I had my flight wing looking like this, I could not then go like this. I actually have to build the second row completely first before I hopefully try and complete the 3rd row before everybody else. The next possible action is to kill. To do this, you'd either take a card from your hand or one of the shared cards over here in the tableau and play it to kill another dragon in someone else's flight wing. In this case, this player is going to use a forest dragon from the tableau. Now this is an interesting case because either one of these dragons they could use to kill, but the dragon it kills is across from them. So this one could kill either this dragon or this dragon that's in somebody else's flight wing. This one could kill this one or this one. So in this rare case, actually this forest dragon could help kill any of these 3 dragons that's in somebody else's flight wing. So this is the top of the pentagram, and just to bring this closer, this was another player's flight wing. Now, it could have killed this dragon, so this dragon would have been sent to the discard pile along with the forest dragon card from the tableau that was played to use this kill action. However, if this dragon was actually protected, meaning there's at least one card covering it, it would be protected and it wouldn't be able to be killed. So in this case, no one from this flight wing could be killed because none of these 3 dragons are on top and unprotected. But if that dragon was to be killed because it wasn't protected, that dragon in that player's flight wing and the card goes to the discard pile and it becomes the next player's turn. The last possible action is an Altar War. A player can take a card from their hand or the shared tableau and use it to replace a card that's in the Pentawar. So let's say the player takes this shadow dragon from the tableau and they're going to replace this dragon. This dragon gets to be discarded like that. Then that player can either take a card from their hand or the shared tableau to then do an immediate kill action. This is the only time where you can do 2 actions or play more than 1 card on a turn. So let's say that player plays the ice dragon from their hand to the discard pile, which means they can use this dragon to kill one of these 2, so it kills this player's shadow dragon, which also goes to the discard pile. The game can end in one of 2 ways. The first is at the beginning of a player's turn. If they have 5 dragons in their flight wing that looks sort of like this, then that will trigger the end of the game. The second possible way is when the deck runs out at the end of that player's turn, the game will end. Now in a 2 or 3 player game, the first time the deck runs out, that will trigger the end at the end of that player's turn. In a 4 or 5 player game, once this deck runs out, you'll take the discard pile, shuffle it, create a draw deck again, and the second time that deck runs out, then that will trigger the end at the end of that player's turn. Now if the game ends with you starting your turn with 5 dragons in your flight wing, then you win the game immediately. However, if the game ends by running out of cards on the draw deck, you could possibly win by having less than 5, and the person who has the most dragons in their flight deck would win. In this case, I have 4. If someone else had 4 and we were tied, whoever has more dragons in the Pentawar would win. In this case, I have 1, 2, 3 dragons in the Pentawar. If I had more than someone else, I would win. If we're still tied, then we'd share the victory. Well, I hope this helped you dive right into Pentawar and get to the fun quicker than you would have if you had to read the rulebook yourself. Now, if you have more questions, I've placed a link below me in the description of this video. If you place your questions there, I'll get notified, but so will the publisher, and the designers might even be able to chime in as well.